How can you take more pictures in a shorter amount of time? What's up everybody? Welcome to another video. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to learn how to work from home and be your own boss by buying and reselling on eBay, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon right next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. Now with that out of the way guys, let's get into the topic today. How can you take more pictures in the same amount of time, or basically how can you get more pictures taken in a day, which is going to add to your dollar amount that you make that day? The first, now I have 8 tips for you guys to help you guys take more pictures, to help you take pictures much faster. The first tip is batching items. Batching like items together. In other words, things that are alike, batch them together. So if you've got, say, a bunch of shirts or a bunch of pants, a bunch of shoes, etc. Whatever it is that you're selling, make sure, because more than likely you've got several different kinds of different items that you're selling. And what you want to do is take those items and basically put them in groups of likeness. And you want to take pictures. In other words, if you're doing a bunch of, clothing, then you want to put your shirts together, your pants together. And whenever you take your pictures, you want to take pictures of all your shirts at the same time. You want to take pictures of all your jeans at the same time. Now, the next thing you want to do, guys, is take your items and get them ready. Get all your items ready 100% before you take a single picture. So, if you've got, first lay your items out, first set yourself a goal, and when you lay your items out, say your goal is 50 items. So you want to take 50 items, you want to get 50 shirts, or maybe it's 25 pairs of pants and, 15 pairs of shoes and, 15 shirts. That's how you want to do it. You want to get at least an X amount of number of items ready to go. And besides getting them in batches, you want to make sure that they are 100% ready to go, like I said, before you take a single picture, because this is going to save you a lot of time. Besides the obvious things like, the clothes are dirty, there's a spot over here, you need to button the shirt up to the top, you want to fold the collar down, you need to iron it, so on and so forth. But, all these things, if you need to clean the item, all these things, and 99 times out of 100, guys, you need to clean your items. That's a freebie, guys. Clean your items. Always clean your items, because that is going to increase your dollar amount tremendously. You can't even imagine. So get your items clean and get them 100% ready before you take a single picture. And that way, when you go over there and you start taking your pictures, you can just bam, bam, bam. And you're not having to stop what you're doing and, go and basically shift gears, and retool to start the cleaning process on something, or to, button up the shirts, or, fill in the blank. Okay, guys, my next tip is, now this may seem like a no-brainer to some of you, but, a lot of you guys I know are new, and, even for people who have been doing this a while, sometimes, the obvious things are staring us in the face. Sometimes we tend to overlook. Have an area designated for your items, cleared out, ready for your items. Have a place, for your items. So once you have them over here and you take the picture, make sure that there is a good, clean spot for them over there. Whatever they might be and whatever over there might be. But like I said, because that is going to basically allow a flow, and you need a flow, because without flow, you're going to struggle in your business. You need a flow in all aspects and all areas of your business. And, pictures are no exception. So when you take pictures, they need to flow in one direction and out the other direction. So have yourself, a place to put them as soon as you picture them, so that you're not struggling, you're not looking around, you're not having to walk out of the room to go and hang something up, or put something on the shelf, or put something in the corner. You basically want to grab it, picture it, toss it over there. Grab it, picture it, put it over there. Grab it, picture it, set it right there. All right, guys. Now, another really good tip is, while you have your items out and you're taking your pictures, go ahead and look them over. Go ahead and now this will actually slow you down in your picture taking process. But this is actually going to put you ahead on a macro level. In other words, overall. So now it might slow you down on a micro, but it's gonna put you ahead on the macro level. Say after you've taken your pictures and you got your pictures ready to go, and you start listing that item. Say you pick it up and you're looking it over, and you're looking for problems or anything that might be wrong with it. Well, if you've already done that when you took your pictures, then that's a step you can skip, and you can just move straight on to, say item specifics for that particular item, and you're not having to test it, you're not having to look it over. All right, now another really good thing to do, and this will save you a lot of time, guys, is that while you're taking your pictures, now especially if you're taking, now this will probably only apply to you guys who are taking pictures on your cell phones. If you're taking it on a camera, then this isn't going to work as well. Although a lot of cameras now do have an edit option built into the camera, It might not be that convenient, but I know for a fact that editing pictures on your phone is very convenient. And so, after you take your pictures, now what you want to do is when you take your pictures, edit them on the spot. So, right after you take your pictures, go ahead and, look at that picture. And matter of fact, just what I do is I actually hold my phone up to the item, and I compare the colors, I compare the lighting, and I make sure that basically that the phone is giving an accurate representation of that item. And I can see that a lot because I've got the item right in front of me. I've got the phone here, and like I said, I can literally hold the phone up to the item and I can compare colors, contrast, so on and so forth. And what I will do is I will edit it right there on the spot. And now again, this does take a little bit more time right then as you're taking pictures, which will slow you down taking your pictures. But overall, like I said, again, on the macro, this is going to increase your productivity because you're not having to edit those pictures later on. You can edit them on the spot. And another problem that will happen if you go to edit them later on is, say you take your pictures and you put them in your computer or whatever, and you go and you do your listings, and you're getting ready to list that item, and you pull it up and you look at it and you're not sure if the pictures are right. Maybe they look a little off. Well, you've got to go grab that item from wherever you put it, wherever it's hanging, wherever it's stored, pull it out, look at it under the light, and make sure that your lighting, make sure that your colors are correct. Now, I guess this is more important, again, in clothing than other things. But, nonetheless, it is an important thing, and this will save you a step. This will save you time. This is going to increase your productivity and your accuracy level as far as, your colors and, your lighting conditions. Okay, guys, now I really want to stress this next tip, and that is speed. Speed is very, very, very important in this game because, there are a lot of people, and, especially in recent years, this game has gotten more and more competitive. And right now, the competition levels are out of this world. I mean, I would have never thought, 15 years ago when I started this, that things would have gotten the way that they are now. Although I really can't say that I'm surprised in the least. But as far as, like I said, the competition levels are high, and the way that you want to win, the way that's going to give you a huge, huge competitive edge is speed. If you can do things quicker, faster than everyone else, that's going to put you ahead of the game. Now, it's like I heard someone, I heard someone say one time, it's better to get, seven, it's better to sell 7 items for, I think it was like 60% of their value than to sell 2 items for 100% of their value. In other words, it's better to get more on and take a slightly lesser profit because maybe those items don't sell for quite as much per item than to sell, 2 items that are 100% and you've sold them for 100% of their actual potential profit. Because, on the 7, overall, you do more. You actually make more money than you would over the 2 that were perfect. The lighting conditions were perfect. Speed is very important, like I said, so when you move quicker, there are going to be more mistakes naturally. There are going to be things that aren't quite as good naturally. But like I said, 7 items for, 60% of their value versus 2 items for only 20% of their value. I mean, versus 2 items for 100% of their value. So that's the way you want to look at that, guys. Speed, pay attention to your speed, time yourself, get yourself an egg timer, guys. That's one of the most important pieces of information or advice that I could give anyone. Get yourself an egg timer, set that thing in the corner, and when you start to do something, hit the egg timer. It's a 3-minute timer. When it goes off, hit it again. That way you can keep extreme time on what it is that you're doing. You can keep extreme accounts on what it is that you're doing because in this game, seconds count and minutes really count. Now, when I say seconds count, I mean, you might think, well, that's, it's being a little nitpicky there, Phil, but hey, a few seconds here, a few seconds there. Let's just say for argument's sake, so, I'm saying seconds. Now, let's say it's, 20 seconds, okay? Now, let's just say, you're losing 20 seconds per item. Now, if you're listing, if you're staying busy, and you're busting ass in this game, or sorry about that, you're busting, you're busting, you're humping this game, and you're doing, I don't know, let's just say 30 items a day, okay? 30 items a day, and you're losing 20 seconds per item, okay? So that's 20 seconds times 30 items. What is that? 600 seconds, which is, about 10 minutes, I guess. But, 10 minutes every single day, If you're just working 5 days a week at 10 minutes, that's almost an hour a week. Now, over a month, you're looking at 4 hours. Now, if you're earning a good income, if you're making a decent wage out there and you're doing this game right, then on average, you're making about $100 an hour, or you should be. So, at 4 hours of lost work at just seconds per item, you're looking at 4 hours, $400. $400 in a month, which is a car note for a lot of people. So, hey, seconds add up, guys. All right, guys, my next tip is very simple. Take lots and lots and lots of pictures. Don't be afraid to hit that, to hit that click button, to hit that picture button, because the more pictures you have, the more options you have. Life is all about options, and that's with anything. It's all about options, and the more options you have, the better. I mean, as far as at least in business. Now, you give a lot of people too many options in life, and they sort of freeze up, and they really don't know what to do. Which pictures are good, which pictures are no good, and just go in right then, right after you take all your pictures for that item. Say you take 30 pictures for one item, which is a little excessive, but for our purposes is just fine. So let's say you take 30 pictures for one item, and after you picture that item, what you need to do is go in and delete that down to 12 pictures. Basically go in and find the best 12 out of the 30. But the good thing is you've got 30 pictures and all you need are 12. Or let's say you took 12 pictures and all you need are 6. So it's better to have plenty, more than you need, and don't be scared to click that, the snap button or the red button on your camera, and take extra pictures, because this is just going to help you out. And like I said, go ahead and delete the ones that you don't need right off the bat, because if you don't, those pictures are just going to get in your way, and they're going to build up very, very quickly. Trust me. Don't worry about perfection. In your picture taking process, don't worry about perfection. You're never going to get perfect pictures. Now, sometimes you will, but I mean, perfection is just going to come with time, and that is, that's with anything. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And you guys just starting out, and even a lot of you people, a lot of you guys who have been doing this for a long time, don't get caught up and hung up on perfection, or maybe your background isn't 100% white, like you see other sellers. Maybe you've got a shadow over here, or maybe your color isn't 100% right. I mean, don't get hung up on these things, guys. Do the best that you can and move on. Well, you want to move on, you want to get to the next item, on to the next one, because I mean, that's where your money lies. It's in the next one. It's in the volume. In other words, the more that you can list, the more money you're going to make, right? So, but if you're getting hung up on small things like these pictures aren't 100%, or I've got to tweak this picture so that my background is 100% white, that's just going to slow you down to the point where it will definitely end up costing you money very quickly. So don't get hung up on perfection, guys. In this game, numbers are better than perfection. And, in life in general, it's sort of a numbers game. In other words, the more good that you do, the better for you. It's not the more good things that you do perfectly, the better for you. It's the more good that you do. So, try to do things well. Focus on perfection. Try to be as good as you can, but don't get hung up on thinking that if it's not perfect, that you can't move on. You just, at some point, you've got to settle and move on, because, it's about numbers and, getting numbers on the board. And, at the end of the day, no one's hung up on one picture. No one's hung up on, the exact coloring of any particular item. And if so, hey, worst case scenario, send it back for a full refund, and you move on to the next. If this video has helped you out, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already and you're trying to work from home and be your own boss by buying and reselling on eBay, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now. And don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. Thanks for tuning in for another video, guys. And until my next one, you guys be good, get out there and crush it on eBay.